Hello, Sudoku fans, and welcome to an expert Sudoku by sudoku.com. Let's get started. Right away, I can see that a 3 is blocking here, and a 3 is blocking across here. So one of these squares must be a 3, and they block down. This 3 blocks over, this 3 blocks over, and this 3 blocks over. So a 3 must go here. This 3 blocks up, this blocks over. One of these must be a 3, and they block over. This 3 blocks over, this 3 blocks up, this blocks up, so a 3 goes here. 7 blocks over, 7 blocks up, 7 blocks down, 7 goes here, and therefore here. These 7s block over, so does this, and this blocks up, so a 7 must go here. 2 7s blocking down, a 7 blocking over, therefore a 7 goes here, and I believe the last 7 of the grid must go here. Yes, that was the last 7 of this grid. So let's see, a 9 blocks down, a 9 blocks over. One of these is a 9 blocking up, 9 blocks down. So a 9 must go here, here, or here. That was a very meager result from that analysis.
The crop was meager this year.
But an 8 blocks up here, an 8 blocks over. One of these is an 8 blocking up. This 8 blocks up, this 8 blocks over. So one of these is an 8. And we know that one of these is an 8 because these two squares are blocked by this 8, and this square is blocked by this 8. So one of these squares must be an 8. I'm seeing a 1 and a 3 blocking across here, and a 1 and a 3 blocking up here. So these two squares must be a 1 and a 3. And therefore one of these must be a 4, because both of these squares are blocked by these two 4s here. So a 4 blocks over here, 4 blocks up here, 4 blocks up here, so a 4 must go here or here. One of these squares must be a 6, because this 6 blocks up here, this 6 blocks here, so a 6 goes here or here, blocking up, 6 blocks here, so 6 here or here. A 9 blocks this square, a 9 blocks these two squares, ergo this square must be a 9. It just occurs to me that there is no 2 at all as a given in this grid. But I'm seeing a 9 and a 4 here and a 9 and a 4 here, and they give me a 9 and a 4 for these two squares here. And that means that these three squares must be a 2, 5, and an 8. An 8 blocks up and over, so an 8 goes here. And these two squares must be a 2 and a 5. The 8 blocks down here, so does this. Therefore, an 8 must go in this square. We know that these have to be a 9 and a 4. And here we're looking at a 2, 5, and a 6. So one of these is a 6 because this square is blocked by this 6, right? And we have a 6 blocking down, so one of these is a 6. And since we know that these are a 4 and a 9, we also know that these are a 2 and a 5, making these a 1 and a 6. 1 and a 6 here, that means this is a 2 and a 5, and this is a 2 and a 5. So a 5 blocks here and here, a 5 blocks here. So we got to have a 5 in one of these two squares. We also need an 8 for one of these two squares. But I am eyeing these two 8s blocking across, and this 8 blocking across, this blocking up, making one of these an 8. And they block up here, so here is where an 8 must go. I think these two squares must be a 5 and a 6, because we have got a 5 and a 6 blocking down here, and a 5 and a 6 blocking up here. So yes, these are a 5 and a 6. And that puts some severe restrictions on the 8s. So these being a 5 and a 6, we got an 8 blocking down. Therefore, one of these must be an 8 blocking over. This 8 blocks over, this 8 blocks up. So an 8 must go in this square. So these being a 5 and a 6, they prevent a 5 from going here, ever. This 5 prevents a 5 from going here, ever. So a 5 must go here. The 5 blocks up, the 5 blocks up. This is therefore a 5. And now I think we can resolve the 2s and the 5s we had here. Remember, these are 4s and 9s, right? So the 5 blocks over, making this a 5 and this a 2. And a 2 is over here somewhere. So one of these is a 2. And this, I think, was a 5 as well. Yes, because a 5 goes in one of these squares. And let me recap why this is so. It is so because one of these must be a 4, the other must be a 9, making these a 2 and a 5. Now we got a 5 blocking down, therefore this is a 5. These are now a 2 and a 6, and we know that these must be a 1 and a 6. Remember how these squares must be a 1 and a 3? That makes these squares here a 2 and a 4. And we have a 2 blocking over, so one of these is a 2 now. 2 and a 4. That makes these a 1, 6, and a 9. We got a 1 blocking over, so a 1 must go here or here. Can we say anything about the 6s and the 9s? I don't really think so.
I can't say anything.
But after all this activity and finding this 5, none of these squares can be a 5. The 5 blocks here and the 5 blocks here, so a 5 must go here. Now I'm looking for an 8 in this column here. This 8 blocks here. This 8 blocks here and here. So an 8 is forced to go in this square. Now we are looking for a 2, 4, and a 6 for these squares. This must be a 2 and a 4. And the 6 must go up here somewhere. So this is also a 2 or a 4. These must be a 2 and a 9. Can we do anything with that? Not really. But we can do something with the 8 because an 8 blocks down, an 8 blocks over, and so does this 8. So an 8 must go here. Now we got all the 7s and all the 8s of this grid here. I'm thinking that these being 5 and 6, a 4 blocks over here. So one of these must be a 4. Isn't that true? Yes, it is, I think. And therefore this cannot be a 4. The 4 blocks here. So a 4 must go here or here. And why is this significant? It is significant because I'm now looking at this square. And I'm trying to figure out what it can be. It cannot be a 4. And that is the point here.
That's the point.
One of these is a 4, therefore this cannot be a 4. The 4 blocks here. So this is not a 4 either. We know that a 4 in this box must go either here or here. So the only square in column 9 that can be a 4 now is this. And that makes this a 2.
It's logical.
And I'm sure we all remember how these two squares must be a 2 and a 9. The 2 now blocks down, so the 9 goes here and the 2 here. This 2 blocks over, so does this. This blocks up, a 2 therefore goes here. We know that one of these had to be a 6, so this is a 6. And this now must be a 4. The 6 blocks over, making this a 6. These two now must be a 9 and a 1. We got a 9 blocking up, making this a 1 and this a 9. Blocking down, blocking up, blocking over, 9 goes here. 9 blocks over, so this is a 9 blocking up. This 9 blocks over, so does this. 9 therefore must go here. This square can only be a 3. And we had a 1, 3 up here, didn't we? So this is now a 1 and this is a 3. These two must be a 2 and a 4. And that means that a 2 must go here because there is no other square for it in row 6. And that makes this a 1. This square must be a 4. Can we do something here now? We should. That was a 9 and a 4. Now the 9 is blocking over, so the 4 obviously must go here while the 9 goes here. These two must be a 1, and the 1 can't go here because of the 1 blocking, and a 4. And that makes this a 4 because we know that one of these must be a 4, right? And this one therefore must be a 2, blocking over, 2 blocking down, 2 goes here. The other one was a 5 because I remember that, which blocks over, making this a 5. And this therefore must be a 6, blocking over, making this a 6, and making this a 1. Still a 2 and a 6 here. We have to work harder on those. Let's start by plugging in a 1 here. I know one of these had to be a 4, and the 4 now blocks down, so the 4 goes here. And this is a 2, 6. This is a 2, 6. This is not a 2 because the 2 blocks down. So the 2 must go here and the 6 here, and therefore here. And these two must be a 3, which goes here, and a 2. That was an expert puzzle by sudoku.com. Quite enjoyable, I think. Not that easy though. So if you needed to use pencil marks for this puzzle, I fully understand. I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye for now.